Hey everybody. Okay, so I told you that I would be doing your videos a little late today, and as promised, you're there. um, so anyway, like I said, or maybe I didn't say, I can't remember who I tell things to anymore. I had to help my parents with a garage sale because they're moving this weekend. Well, this weekend was the garage sale. They have no idea when they're moving, but they're packing, so I did all the packing because it's about all I can do at this point in my pregnancy. It's a good time, really. It's great, it's fantastic. Bear with me as I pull up some things, okay? Oh, wrong folder, dingus. So that was a load of fun. Not really at all. Thankfully, it's not like my childhood house, so I'm not really that attached to it. I haven't really lived there. I think I lived there collectively 2 years out of their 13. Any hoosers. So it was a very busy weekend. It was, I would say it was fun, but I don't think it was that fun. So what I'm going to do in this video is go over the elements of nonfiction to prepare you for your reading that's coming up this upcoming weekend on Frederick Douglass. Now you guys have this handout in Canvas, so don't worry about if you don't actually listen to me. So a few of the things that come across with nonfiction, there are, same with the elements of fiction, there are crucial elements to it, okay? So remember, nonfiction stands for not fake, aka it's real. So one of the first elements is that it's a major idea, okay? It serves three purposes: to inform, entertain, and convince or persuade, okay? So when you guys go to read Douglass's speech, his is mostly to inform and persuade. So he gives this speech at a anti-slavery women's luncheon, very specific, okay, up in Rochester, New York on July 5th. And I think, if I can recall the year, I think it was 1864 or 1865 that he gives this speech. Frederick Douglass, for those who don't know, Frederick Douglass escaped from slavery when he was about, I think he was like 18 or 19. He escaped on his second attempt, not his first. His first time he was caught and put in jail before he even did the attempt. One of his friends that he was escaping with ratted him out to avoid the possibility of jail time or being, whipped. So anyway, sorry, he also taught himself how to read and write by bribing and tricking the white schoolboys that would walk past the farm that he worked on. And he would say something like, "I bet you I could write a better A than you could." And the white boys would be like, "I doubt it." So Frederick would give them a piece of bread to do this. And he would, the little white boy would carve it into the fence post. And then he would see, like, that's how I write a letter A. So he had no idea even what he was talking about. He only knew his letters because one of his slave master's wives, Sophia, taught him his ABCs, because Frederick was her first slave. She had no idea that they weren't supposed to learn how to read or write. Once she found out, she stopped and she started to mistreat him very badly. But the damage had already been done. He had already learned his alphabet. So at that point, he knew the letters. He just needed to now know how to write them so he could read them. So anyway, so he learned how to read and write via these schoolboys. Okay, so it's very interesting when you go to read this speech. Yes, it's long. I would advise you to try to find a YouTube version of it to listen to it, since it is a speech. It's meant to be heard, not read. With that said, keep in mind that, like, where he comes from and how he's saying what he's saying is so eloquent. You would never imagine that it was somebody who did not know how to read or write, somebody that taught himself to read and write, someone that escaped from slavery and then helped with the Emancipation Proclamation with Abe Lincoln. So Frederick Douglass was a huge key player in all of this. Okay, so anyway, I digress. So again, his purpose is to inform, convince / persuade, and entertain, but it's kind of like a sick way because he's telling about the horrors of slavery. So it's not really very entertaining. The second thing, and this is not something that he really could use, the second element is reader's aids, which are visuals, tables, graphs, illustrations, photos, work glossaries. So obviously Freddie D didn't have, all of this, but he was very descriptive when he would go into great detail in describing, what he saw while he was a slave. In his autobiography, he vividly remembers the beating of his aunt, and he goes into great detail to describe that to the readers. I do recommend reading that if you ever, are that bored. It is very interesting. The third crucial element is cause, effect, and comparisons. Okay, so where is it coming from? Now, obviously, we know that what he's writing about is coming from his own personal experience. So he knows the cause and effect. And now that he's a free man giving this speech, he knows the comparison between being enslaved and being free. So he's going to include that into this speech. The speech is very long, I'm sorry. Okay, and then the next thing is that he's going to borrow some elements from fiction, okay, that creative narrative, so to speak. So he's going to draw a picture for you guys of what happened and why, slaves do not celebrate the 4th of July and how it's more of a slap in the face than anything. He is, by doing this and by giving you those cause-effect comparisons, he is creating a reliability. He's saying, I'm a reliable author. You can believe me. And then the last thing is nothing but fact. He's not borrowing. He's not using something from other people. It's coming straight from him, but it's all factual. Obviously, we weren't there in 1864, 65, but we can take his word for it. What else? Do I want to go into metamorphosis? Or do I want to leave this on here? Anyway, so when you do go to read What's the Slave of the 4th of July, there are some important parts. You are writing a short essay on it. I did a video last week on how to do your short essays, so don't freak out. You can always visit that one again. I send you guys the videos for that, the past links. Let's see. I think that's about it. I might save the metamorphosis video for Wednesday, just because then that gives you guys a chance to actually read some of it. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me just make a note of that. Due on Wednesday. Okay, so right now that's your elements of nonfiction. You don't really have too much to worry about. I wish that I had like a time, but I don't. So I know that I look like crap, but I've been very disheveled this past few days. Let's see, you guys just did. You did your reader responses. From what I've read, they've been great. I hope you guys liked those 3 stories that I chose. Those are not the typical stories given in English Comp, but I felt like they were less boring considering this virtual learning experience. I felt like they were pretty good at being descriptive and detailed and, I don't know, just intriguing. So you'll let me know. Let's see. Yes, you guys are reading Kafka for this week. You'll have a quiz on Friday, and you have a short essay due on the metamorphosis also Friday by midnight, and then Wednesday or Thursday morning, probably I'll post a video on the metamorphosis. There are a lot of sources out there for it. It is not difficult to understand though. It's only about 70 pages, so it should not be that tough of a read. Download the audio file if you need to. And I think that's all I have. All right, so I will see you guys Wednesday or Thursday. Have a good rest of your night, everybody. Bye, guys.